Yeah. 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 Bronx on the scene, nose to the ground, reads every scratch, every step, every sound. Dust on the boot, mud on the cuff, one wrong move and he calls you bluff. He found a lie in the turn of a face, found a fresh print in an empty place. Tail up high when the story won't blend, he don't bark loud, he just gets close. Damn, sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. BronxTails, 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 chasing truth through the rails. BronxTails, 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 corruption slips then fails, sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth, corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. Hey, hey. Idaho nights cold, over the floor, 4 names heavy in the whole town, so Bronx in the weeds where the silence stayed, digging for proof in the tracks it made. He found the gap in the masked up tail, found the bent clue in the buried trail, bone white truth in the folder stack, one clean scent and the case swings back, sniffing out facts, no room for slack, truth in the crack, now we don't look back. BronxTails, 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 chasing truth through the rails. BronxTails, 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 corruption slips then fails, sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth, corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. One paw print, one torn thread, one false alibi, falls dead. Chasing truth through the rails. BronxTails, 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 corruption slips then fails, sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth, corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose.
Hello! That was so funny. I saw this comment. It made me laugh out loud. It was really funny. I was having fun with Dilla the Killa the other day. So we're going to pick up right where we left off from Dilla the Killa. I set my light back a little bit. So if it's too dark, let me know. I don't know if it's going to work this way. I might have to put it back how it was, but it's a light. Who cares, right? Hi, everybody. Happy hump day. I'm so excited this week. It seems like it's going by really fast already. Before I forget it, I just want to remind everybody that Saturday is going to be a very, very amazing day for this channel, at least. We will have a special guest on Saturday afternoon before the verdict room. And then when our guest show is completed, we will then hop over to the verdict room and Pav will be on the verdict room. So big Saturday coming up over here and we are here for it and we are so excited. So excited. Bronxy is sleeping like always. I'm not sure. It's a whole story with him, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. That stinks. We'll be thinking about you. As always, you know, if you need somebody to talk to, reach out. Hey, Curious Cat, good to see you. Hi, Bianca. Crime and Chaos is going to want to stay to the end today. No, I wish. I'd like to cover them all up and start fresh again, which I might. I don't know. But no, they're so old. I think I only have maybe one tattoo that is from when I was 18 or older. All the rest of them before I was even 18. So, you know, they're great decisions, right? Especially pre-2000s or about 2000s era. Baby. Those are some good tattoos. Hello. Good to see everybody. So, I have on the thumbnail that I wanted to talk about Sutton's report that is in part of the newly unsealed documents. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save Sutton's report for Friday, because on Friday, I want to go over Matthew Nodal's report, and he references Sutton in it a lot. So we can cross-reference and do all that. So I'm going to save Sutton for Friday. So I apologize. Woof, woof, woo. September Virgo 220. Thank you so much. How sweet. We appreciate you more than you know. Oh my God. Definitely not that. Nope. No, seriously. Like, I don't know what it is, but that's not like, something that I've ever been interested in was like the Playboy stuff. I don't know. It wasn't really my thing. So no, I definitely don't have that, but a tramp stamp I don't know. It might be there. Who knows? I can't see it. So I don't know. Oh Lord, the things we do when we're younger and we truly think that like we know it all, right? No, baby, we don't. No. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Definitely 90s for sure. Sneaking out late at night, driving to a town I had no business being in, lying about my age, having them call my brother like he's my dad. And my brother's like, yeah, she's 18. This is her birthday. And then he gets it wrong. And I'm like, he's drunk. I don't know. Oh my Lord. So fun. So fun. Hello, blue-eyed butterfly. Good to see you. I will send pics of shirt and mug tomorrow. Oh no, that's perfectly fine. I figured in about a week or so I might throw together some merch pics and things like that. We had some a bunch of merch orders go out in the past week or two, so kind of waiting on some people to get them anyway so I can put together like a merch collage. Also on Friday, something that's exciting. I have been working on a new music video, like our intro. However, we're going to keep our intro. We are going to add our new music video to our outro. So when we leave our show, you'll want to stay on Friday because I'll be playing our new music video that I've been working like crazy on. So I'm really excited about it. I didn't realize how much fun making these are for me. It's so therapeutic. At first it's overwhelming, but then it gets really therapeutic and I really enjoy it. So that will be Friday as well. It's fun. New song, new video, but it's for an outro. It's a little bit slower and the video itself actually tells a story. So it's fun. Yeah. Hello. All right. First, I didn't even open them, but I should. Let me open these. I'm going to show you something that really made me not happy. So I FOIA'd a bunch of knives and stuff because I wanted them sooner than having to wait for the 250 calls or more about knives FOIA requests that we sent in. So I didn't want to have to wait on those. So I FOIA'd the knives from Genesee and specifically the black K-bar that was written in a report. And it was stated that it was found in a field by some kids. It had rust on it and it seemed like it had been buried in the dirt. Specifically requested this K-bar. I'm going to show you guys what they sent me for the K-bar. I was so angry. Make sure there's nothing on it. Okay. Y'all, they sent me the broken knife from Kopacka's house. This is the broken knife from Kopacka's roof. And it was supposed to be the black K-bar found in the field. I was so excited to get this when I saw it land in the inbox, I'm like, oh my God, the black K-bar. And I opened it. Actually, I waited like an hour so I could enjoy the excitement. And then I opened it and I was like, are you kidding me? I never asked for this. This is not what I was asking for. This is not what no. And I should show you guys actually, but it's got my information, my address and stuff on there, so I'm not going to show it, but maybe I'll show it on Friday. It just says, it's got the report number. It's got the time of the report, the date of the report, who wrote the report, exactly what the report said, the number of the report. I mean, literally everything for this black K-bar found in a field. And this is what they sent me. And I think I paid either $16 or $31. I want to say it was $16 though. I don't know. This one might have been the $31, but either way, $1 is too much. This knife wasn't used in the crime. We know that. I mean, just by the measurements of it. So yeah, I was irritated. There's a couple more pictures, but it's of this exact same knife. So not even worth it. I was so irritated. I was like, if anything else goes wrong today, because I was really excited to get that K-bar. So now I have another FOIA in specifically for the K-bar again. I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, they better not come back and say, oh, it's the same price. We just gave it to you. No, hunty, that is not a K-bar. Okay. All right, let's get into some Dilla the Killer. We left off on page 92. Yes, I know that there are some new interviews out, and I can't wait to go over them. I don't think there's a whole lot. I mean, there's some nuggets in there, but of course, we'll go over them regardless because we're going to cover everything Idaho. So if it has to do with Idaho, we're going to show it, play it, go over it, read it, document, whatever we got to do. So those will be coming up in the near future as well. And I think eventually in the near future, we are probably going to dig into Pete a little bit more. So that'll be something coming up as well. Okay. So when we left off with Dylan, are you guys ready for Dilly Bean, our friend Dylan? Oh, everything's alleged in our opinion only. Okay. We left off with Dilla the Killer here. They were talking about opening and closing the doors 3 times. Gooch says, do you think that you opening the door 3 times is part of what you're trying to piece together? I think Gooch asked that because she wanted to know, is that part real? Is she going to tell me that part is real? Is she going to say anything that leads into her opening the door 3 times specifically being real? Because it's odd to remember that, I think, how many times you open the door. However, I think it's possible that it's real. I think it actually is real. And I think it wasn't having anything to do with seeing a man in her house or calling out to her roommates. I almost feel like we might be able to hear that on the 1112 camera as well, if that actually happened, which it didn't, just like the phone ringing. It didn't happen. But I do think it's possible that she opened her door 3 times. One to go upstairs with Kaylee and Maddie, then probably came back in her room or the bathroom, maybe cleaned up a little bit. Maybe that's why there's diluted blood on the half wall. Came back to her room, then went to Ethan and Xana, or vice versa. And then the third one was to completely clean up, change clothes, and go down to Bethany's and pretend like nothing happened. So that's where we were at. So Gooch says, Well, what's important for the detective sergeant and myself is that you're not telling us something that's not true. Basically, Gooch is saying, don't sit here and act like it's true if it's not. We want the actual truth. Bianca, we've got a gifted. Welcome to the family, to our new what are we today? K9. Well, we're always K9. What are we today? Paw Pals. I don't know. But welcome. We're here and you're here, and that's what counts. Oh, Levs Blue Haze. Thank you for the 5 memberships and welcome to our brand new family members. We're excited to have you, and we are excited that you're here, Levs Blue Haze, to support us and hang out with us. Moto, 20 memberships. Holy moly. Holy moly macaroni. Oh my God. Good. Thank you, Moto. Welcome to all of our new members. We've got 26 new members just in the last couple minutes. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to the family. We'll be having a giveaway, next week or the week after? Yes, sir. All right. So Dylan says, yeah, I know. And Gooch says, that's the most important thing here is don't tell us something just because you think it's what we want to hear or you're pretending to piece stuff together. Those are my words, though. And Dylan says, yeah. Gooch says, the fact you cannot remember, I understand that. You're traumatized. Rex is dreaming. Dylan says, yeah, Gooch, but that you're not intentionally telling us, Dylan. Yeah, I know. I don't know about you guys. I myself, Curious Cat is back to a member again. Welcome back, my love. Hey, good to see you. Offset, I haven't seen you in so long. I hope you're doing well. We miss you. Aw, you're so sweet. We love you, G-Bean. G-Bean, G-Bean. Hey. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but if I was sitting in a room with a detective, a police officer, all of the above together, I wouldn't be interrupting her. Dylan interrupts Gooch constantly. It's pretty annoying to me, actually. Like, let the woman speak a full sentence. Oh, Lord, I cracked myself up. Okay. Detective Gooch says, well, she finishes the sentence she was trying to say before she was so rudely interrupted. Gooch says, do you understand why? And Dylan says, yeah, this is all stuff this is what I remember from that night. Again, it's something I don't know if it was real or what happened. This is what I remembered, and it's some of it could be real, some of it could be not. I don't know. This is what I think I remembered. Gooch, so watching you, and I've done hundreds of interviews, and so has the detective sergeant, I believe you're recalling some things from memory. The dog barking isn't something you can make up. It's not something you feel. Either the dog was barking or the dog was not. You know what I mean? Dylan, yeah. Ooh, I like this. She's like, you can't make some of this up. And I bet you anything, Dylan's gears are turning. And now she's like, oh, crap. What did I say that was a sensory thing? Did I say that I smelled something? Did I say that I heard something? Did I say, things that can't be either it happened or it didn't? It did or it didn't, right? So Gooch is like, so it's things we hear is different than things we think we saw. What we hear is something awakened you, some noise. And then you heard crying. You heard that. Dylan says, yes. Witchy, second day. Pack name is sponsored by Witchy Borg Barker. The Borg Barkers. I love it. I love it. The Borg Barkers. Ugh. It hurts my stomach just saying the word Borg. Yuck. Yuck. Gooch says, you're not filling something in. Something brought you out of sleep. Dylan, yeah. No, it didn't. Stop lying. Gooch said, and it's probably what you're suggesting is that you heard somebody crying. You don't know if it was Kaylee. We're not certain because you don't know that, right? Dylan, yeah. Gooch, you know somebody was crying. Was it a woman? Dylan, yeah, it was a woman. I know that. I think she's making it up. At least not at the time that she says that she heard a woman crying. Gooch says, and were they saying anything? Dylan, no, they were just crying. Gooch, was it unusual for your roommates to cry? Dylan, I mean, I feel like all of us, like, I wouldn't cry in front of my friends. I'd cry in my room. I wouldn't I wouldn't really cry in front of my roommates, like feel comfortable enough. But if there's a bad situation going on, I would, I guess. I don't know. Now I'm sitting here thinking of her outside in front of her friends during a bad situation. And she says, I would if there was a bad situation, but you didn't. But you didn't. Cause yeah. What's his name? The book righty guy. The book righty guy. He said 21 minutes I watched Dylan Mortensen and she never shed a tear. Whitcomb, that's his name. Whitcomb. Fake crying, right. That whole whiny I can't stand that. That whiny, and then you make your voice different than what it is when you're just speaking like a normal tone. And then you put it up here and you're like shaking your voice. That, I can't stand that. Dylan says, I mean, I would, I guess, if there was a bad situation, I'd cry in front of my friends. I don't know. Gooch, what did the crying sound like? Dylan, just like Gooch. Do you ever cry when you're frustrated? Oh, Dylan, yeah. Gooch, do you ever cry when you're hurt? Dylan, yes. Gooch, do you ever cry when you're scared? Dylan, yeah, and I don't know which one it was. I don't know at all. Gooch, you just heard crying. Dylan, I just heard crying and I can't process what kind of crying it was. Gooch, so I've learned through interviews, and the detective sergeant knows this, and so does Robin. What you hear is not necessarily distorted, but what we see can be from trauma, right? But what we hear is distinct, right? Dylan, yeah. Gooch, so what you heard isn't as important as what you saw to me. Did you smell anything unusual? Dylan, no, I didn't smell anything. Gooch, cologne, anything like that? Dylan, nothing. Gooch, perfume. Dylan, nothing. Gooch, what you thought you saw when you saw the figure in the hallway. 3 feet from you, you thought it was a male? Dylan, yes. Gooch, and you thought he was holding something, but at the time, your view of it was it could have been a vacuum cleaner. Dylan, a mini vacuum, yeah. Fuck. Oh my God. Gooch. And what was around the person's waist? Dylan. I don't know. I don't think I looked at that. I just remember all black clothes. So I think it was right, not even your own. I think it was yeah. Well, you didn't smell smoke, but you assumed firecracker, fireman. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. So, what I was going to say is these numbers on the left-hand side of the screen on the outside of the transcribed interview. I heard somebody say that they placed the numbers there or the timestamps there so they could know what they were using in court. That these are the lines that would have been addressed in court. Interesting. I think it's interesting for sure. I don't know if it's true though, but it very well could be. Dylan says, or Gooch says, "Oh, I thought you said you saw a triangle. What was in the Dylan? No, that was from what he was holding." Gooch. Okay, so can you describe that again for me? Dylan, it was like cylinder like this. I guess like about that long, and then it went out and in like a triangle. Out and in. That always drives me nuts. I always want to try and picture it and I can't. Gooch, and how was the person holding it? I don't know. I have no clue. I can't remember that. I just remember seeing it and I don't know if he had one hand on it, two hands. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't remember how he was holding it exactly. Gooch, were there lights on in the hallway? Dylan, I don't know. I can't remember at all. Gooch, okay, let's go back a second. Would there normally be lights on in the hallway? Do you leave the lights on for your roommates if they decide to stay out late out of consideration since they are your roommates? Do you leave any hallway lights on or anything? Dylan, I mean, for me, I like to leave a hallway light out there because it just makes me feel better, but I don't know. I don't know if I did. I don't know if anyone else did. That's something I don't know. Gooch, because you went to bed ahead of the other people. Dylan, yeah. Gooch, in the house. Dylan, I don't know. Blaker, would it be unusual for you guys to leave your lights on? Do you guys want me to speak in the lowest voice I possibly can to sound like a dude? Too bad. Blaker, would it be unusual for you guys to leave your lights on? Dylan, no. Blaker, at night? Dylan, it would not be unusual at all. Blaker, especially after you're out drinking? Dylan, I mean, Xana, like, and Ethan like to turn them off, but like sometimes I'd leave them on. We'd go down to get food and in the middle of the night leave the lights on. That was normal. And I will never, never get past the fact that Dylan says we would go down to get food. And I can't help but think, because first of all, who's we? And if you're going down to get food, it could only be one of two things. Either you're on the third floor and you're going down to the kitchen, which is highly possible, especially with my theory of possible some sort of maybe Dylan liking Kaylee type of thing. Or she's talking about going down to the first floor to get like a DoorDash order or something like that. But I don't know. Something tells me she was talking about the kitchen, and she was talking about being on the third floor with somebody. We'd go down to get food, and in the middle of the night, leave the lights on. That was normal. Well, there was something going on in Kaylee's room, period. There was something going on in there because also the slider door was left open in there. And I can't help but think there is no way that Kaylee is leaving that slider door open while she's trying to go to sleep or going to go to bed or not even in the room. I just don't see her leaving it wide open for a long period of time. I feel like she's a little bit more responsible. She knows that that's going to make the gas bill higher or heat bill higher. I just don't see her leaving her slider door open to her room for an extended period. I can see if Murphy has to go pee, lets him out, lets him go, brings him back in. I don't think in the middle of winter, Kaylee's leaving that slider door open for Murphy to go in and out as he pleases. That would make her room really cold. So I do think that it was one of the perpetrators that maybe got tired of Murphy, barking at them or following them around or whatever. He was in the way. So it's possible that because he was in the way on the third floor, somebody went in and opened the slider for him to go out of it. But he made his way downstairs, and that's how we know he got out and was running around kind of over by Jack D's a little bit and, in the morning, that whole thing. But I do think that something was going on in Kaylee's room. The fact that Dylan says, first she says, I didn't go up to the third floor at all when she got home. And then later says she went upstairs and let Murphy out, when we know that, or we speculate, I suppose, she didn't really seem to care for Murphy at all. So I don't think her motive of going to the third floor was actually to let Murphy out. I think it was possible that maybe she opened Kaylee's slider for access or for Murphy to get out there and be out of the way, or I don't know. I think that it's possible Dylan opened Kaylee's slider. But at 4:59 in the morning, we hear somebody shut the slider. And we hear somebody shut the slider after Murphy goes outside. And that's then when we see him running around all throughout the neighborhood. At 4:59, it had to be either Dylan or Bethany. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So if Murphy was out running around, who put him back in Kaylee's room and shut the door? The killers had left at that point, right? Yeah, so the killers had left at that point, but from my understanding, and I asked the same question too, from my understanding now, Kaylee's door was not actually shut. That it was partly open or enough for Murphy to get in and out of. So I thought it was shut as well, but apparently it was not. It was open at least enough for Murphy to get in and out, because that would have been super crazy if it was actually shut. Oh, that would have been a whole different story. Gooch says, when I didn't ask this before, when was the last time you saw Xana? Les Blue Haze, baby. Thank you so much. You are so sweet. For Bronxy. For ya, or pizza. Oh gosh, pizza sounds so good. Yummy in my tummy. Jen, 5 gifted. Thank you so much. Miss Jen. We appreciate you. 5 new family members tonight. That's amazing. That's amazeballs. Gooch says, when was the last time you saw Xana? Dylan, at Sigma Chi before. So that was when Ethan was trying to call his sister and wasn't answering. Xana was with, I guess I have, oh, but that's not the same video. That, like, Xana was with him and I just, like, I don't know if I told them where I was going. What? I don't know if I told them I was leaving. I just knew I was told Bethany and Yessie if they wanted to go. What? The question was, when was the last time you saw Xana? And Dylan, who just cannot help herself, answers the question and makes it all about herself. Oh, I didn't tell anybody I was leaving. I don't think I told them where I was going. Beat, that was not the question. The question was, when was the last time you saw Xana? How the heck does she turn everything into notice that too. Everything is about her. It doesn't matter what question it is. Somehow she turns it around and makes it all about her. Gooch says, I think you left there at 2:00 in the morning. Dylan, no, that was before then. Gooch, okay, what time? Can you give me a time frame? Dylan, I'm trying to figure that out. Gooch, and Xana was with Ethan? Dylan, yes. So I know for sure from this video, I was at Kennedy or Allie's at 12:49. The last video I have is of Xana holding a White Claw at 11:04. So in between that time, I'm going to guess more towards the 12 o'clock side is when I went to Allie's next. Gooch, so you have a video or a picture of Xana at 11:04? Dylan, yes. Gooch, PM? The fact she has to ask that is a little crazy. Dylan, yes. Gooch, and she's with a White Claw? Dylan, yes. Gooch, and then you're at Kennedy and Allie's at 12:49. Dylan, for sure. Yes, I have a video of that. I could have been there before then. I don't know. This is what proof I do have. And I find it very strange that she uses the word proof. Proof. She uses the word proof. And just in normal context, like just looking at it, it might not look like a big deal to anybody. But why are you thinking of proof for yourself or proof of a time frame? I wouldn't be looking for any sort of proof of anything if this was me. Thank you, Miss Bianca. We've got another family member. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So sweet. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they look past several things that she says. I don't know how they don't get irritated. I don't know how they don't call her out. It's like the wildest thing. Absolutely, words matter. Absolutely. But I do find that word very, very strange in this context, in this interview. Not sure. Gooch. And that's what you've been using to piece some of this, Dylan. Yes, Gooch, together. Dylan, I mean, I didn't fully look at my phone and stuff until my mom was like kind of asking me about that. And that's how I've been like trying to understand time zones, timelines, I guess. What? Why is she trying to understand timelines? You were there. You were there. You know when Maddie and Kaylee got home. You know when Xana and Ethan got home. You were there. Why are you trying to piece together a timeline? Don't you guys think that usually it would be just like this is my friend, I'm going to be really upset, I might be depressed, I might be devastated, but I'm not looking for proof and timelines, especially if I'm the one who saw the person who supposedly killed my friends. I would be trying to remember everything about the person that I saw and working really, really hard to concentrate to give that information, to try and recall it. Maybe even to go to like a hypnotist or something to recall the information that I saw or that you know, we know she didn't though. So, and that's why she doesn't put effort into stuff like that. Understand time zones and timelines, girlfriend. Gooch, can I ask? It's not a judgment question, though. Dylan, yeah. Gooch, did Xana and Ethan ever stay at Ethan's house? Dylan, no, I don't really know why. I think Ethan, I don't know why. Ethan always just liked to be at our house. Gooch, does he have roommates? Dylan, I think. Gooch, does he have roommates? Dylan, I don't know. All I know is that because of his grades, he wasn't allowed to live at Sigma Chi. So he had to get an apartment. I have never been to his apartment. I don't know where it is. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if Xana's ever been there. We just never like asked about it. We didn't care. Oh, we liked having him there. So it was never a question to us. Why does she change from I don't know. I don't know if Xana's ever been there. I. And then suddenly she catches herself saying I, and she switches it to we. We never asked about it. We didn't care. We liked having him there. I'm so curious who she has in mind when she's saying we. Yeah, I don't think she is. I think the only thing that she's like really caring about is not getting in trouble. Making sure that the stuff that she makes up it kind of fits together kind of some way somehow. And I think that's really all she's worried about. Do you think it's Bethany? I think it's possible. Yeah, that's Bethany. Yeah. For someone who gave an impact statement about losing her besties, she sure doesn't know ish about ish. Wild, right? And that's part of what makes it so hard to even try and believe anything she says. I mean, the interview she gave an hour, 2 hours after they called 911 is just so absurd. You can say she's in shock. You can say whatever you want, but somebody who's in there talking about like just not caring about any of the stuff that happened, they stood outside for how long? What, an hour more maybe? And nobody even asked about Maddie and Kaylee. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about these people. Thank you so much, Mandy Bradley, today. Oh, happy birthday. I'm so very grateful for all the blessings in my life, as you should be, girl. Happy birthday. And I hope you have many, many more. And I hope you enjoy everything today. Be selfish today. It's okay. It is your day. Do the things you love, eat the things you love. Don't tell yourself no. Do everything you want to do. Happy, happy birthday to you. Heck, do it the rest of the week. It's your birthday week, girl. Well, I hope you're going to have fun. Please be safe if you go out, but definitely enjoy it. And happy, happy birthday. So cool. So cool. Detective Gooch. I'm just wondering, did Xana ever go to Ethan's house? I don't think so. I think about every single night she was at our house, Gooch. So this is an odd question. You just brought up something. He couldn't stay with his fraternity because of his grades, but we're not even through the semester yet. Dylan. Okay, so last semester, that's how they depend everything. That's how they depend everything. Oh my God. Somebody put this girl back in 5th grade for her English, please. So this is still Dylan. So let's say you get like below what you're supposed to get a semester ago. Jesus. That means that's like at the end of last year. That means for this semester, those are the rules you have to follow. Then if this semester you get better grades, then the next semester you'll be fine. Gooch. So he had to come into the semester. Dylan, yes. Gooch, get an apartment. Dylan, yes. Gooch, it's not like he was there and they kicked him out. Dylan, no. Gooch, okay, that makes sense. Dylan, yeah. Detective Gooch, you okay? Dylan, yeah. Oh, because if that was me in that moment and somebody said, "Are you okay?" I would be like, "What? No, I'm not." 4 of my friends are deceased. 4 of my friends were horrifically unalived. Now I'm being called in to do all these interviews over and over and over. And I told y'all I don't know nothing. I see things, I hear things. I'm schizophrenic. I have no clue what's going on ever. I cannot speak correct, proper grammar or English. Just leave me alone. No, I'm not okay. That's what I would have said if I was Dylan. Just kidding. Just kidding. Gooch. So don't beat yourself up because maybe we can come back and talk some more. I know that Detective Sergeant Blaker has questions. I have some more questions, but don't let that wait. I can Dylan. Yeah. Gooch. See the weight of like I wish I can give them more. Dylan. Yeah. Gooch. What you're giving us is important. Aw, laughs. Towards throwing one huge pizza party. That I haven't had pizza in so long. Seriously, that sounds so good. What day is today? Wednesday? Maybe we can make pizza Wednesday. Ooh. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. I see what you did there. Now I want pizza. Everybody wants pizza. We could have pizza bagel bites. Do you guys remember those from like the 80s? I remember the song. Pup pizza time. I struggle with spending money on like fast food or food that is not made at home because it's cheaper, right? Well, I don't know about in 2026 anymore if it's cheaper to make food at home, but I feel like I'm wasting money and I don't like to. First of all, I don't eat fast food. So, not that pizza is really fast food, but you know what I mean. But I will get a Panera bowl once every couple of years. And I might order a pizza maybe once a year-ish. But it's got to be a super treat. Super treat. Let's proceed. I am a vegetarian. And I've been a vegetarian for 30 years or something like that. What? Yeah, almost next year will be 30 years. So, it's also, I don't eat fast food because there's nothing for me to get, right? Other than French fries, which I might do once in a blue moon, but I was going to do it the other night. And then I was like, I just don't even feel like going anywhere. So I didn't. I'm not a grub truck gal. I cannot justify spending money on fast food. Just not something I do. Not something I do. I don't, but the difference is I don't really like it either, though. I don't crave it. I don't think about it. I don't. So it's not like I'm depriving myself either, just not my thing. It's never really been my thing. So Gooch says, what you're giving us is important. Gooch, so when you went to bed, who was still in the house? When you went to bed at 3 o'clock, 3:10, 3:11, who was still in the house? Dylan says, from what I know of, Kaylee and Maddie coming home. Those two. Notice, this is really big, how Dylan didn't correct her when she said 3 o'clock, 3:10, 3:11, knowing darn well that was at 2 o'clock. But Dylan in the moment might be forgetting right now of what time she said she went to bed, right? Because it's hard to keep a lie straight. So she's not even going to correct Gooch that she's an hour later than what she originally said she went to bed, because Dylan didn't go to bed. Dylan didn't go to sleep. And now we know she was making up excuses of why her light was on. Snicky. From what I know of Kaylee and Maddie coming home, those two. Gooch. Just Kaylee and Maddie? Dylan. But I know Xana was home so I don't know if Ethan was with her. I did not see Ethan. He could have been home with her. He could have not been. I don't know. Gooch. But when you went to bed, you said Lake was still in the house. Dylan. No, that was, are you talking about the first time I went to bed? Like early before all this happened? Gooch. Oh, I see. Yes. Dylan. Yes. Gooch. Because they came home from the grub hut. Dylan. After Lake. After Lake left. Yeah. Gooch. And you don't, how about Bethany? Bethany was with you? Dylan. Yes, I know Bethany was home because after everything of all this, I went to bed with her in her bed. Honey, boo-boo child, what is everything? Yes, I know Bethany was home because after everything, what's everything? What is everything, Dilla? Miss Dilla? Gooch. At what time? She's asking, what time did Dylan go to Bethany's room to go to sleep? Anybody want to guess what Dylan's answer is to what time she went to Bethany's room to go to sleep? Anybody? Quick guess off the top of your head. Anybody? I mean, it wouldn't possibly be, I don't know, would it? Yeah. No, she's never said that, guys. My goodness. Dylan says, I don't know. I don't know what time I went to Bethany's room and went to sleep, which is crazy because all you'd have to do is look at your little cellular device, your little mobile device, and it would tell you when you were texting Bethany, and then you would remember about how long it was in between Bethany saying, hey, run down to my room, and then you actually running down to her room. And you think you'd remember it because there was supposedly an intruder, a man with black with a black mask carrying a vacuum in your house. How terrifying that he might clean your floors. So you'd remember if somebody was in your home and what time, how long it took you to decide to run down to Bethany's room after she texts you to come down there. So don't say, I don't know. Let's put Dylan, can you put a little bit of effort into this? A little bit of effort to recall some sort of information? No? Too difficult for you? My goodness. Dylan says, I don't know. I have no clue. Somewhere after, I would say 4:30-ish. I don't know how long all this happened. I tried to remember and I tried to give a time frame, but in reality, I don't know at all. It's almost like she took mushrooms or something. That's what she sounds like. Like she has literally no clue because she was rocked out of her mind off of hallucinogens or something. Sasha! But her favorite thing to say is pretty much at 4 a.m. God. That and I don't know. I don't know. And that's it. There's Dylan's full vocabulary. If you would like the book of Dylan's vocabulary, it will cost you 1 penny because it's only one line of 4 words. Jesus. Thank you so much, Sasha. Mystic says she suffers from the diabetes. Diabetes. That's funny. Diabetes. Gooch says, so at some point, we always ask this, at some point, you were not perceiving a threat. Dylan says, I never perceived a threat, ever. Then why the beep are you running and sprinting to Bethany's room? Why are you texting? I'm scared, though. Why are you running to Bethany's room? I never perceived a threat, ever. Well, that would make sense if you're the killer, huh? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It would. It would to me, anyways. You would never perceive a threat of a person dressed in all black in your house that you can't hear their footsteps if it was you. She wanted to practice high knees, high knees. The call is coming from inside the house. Dun, dun, dun. Hippler said her testimony was consistent. Hippler also said that the only person who could have committed this crime is somebody that drives a white car. If they didn't drive a white car, they could not be a suspect. I think him and Dylan went to the same school, right? Yeah. Maybe we should donate more because the learning there is a little meow. I never perceived a threat ever. Those are strong words to me. Those are really strong words. Gooch, even with the Dylan, Gooch, even with the guy in the hallway, could you guys imagine being a female the middle of the night and you hear screaming in your house and somebody's here and running and commotion and you open your door and you see a figure dressed in all black with a mask on and you don't perceive a threat, you're not scared, you're not anything, you still feel just as safe as you did before seeing him. That's not normal. That's not normal. That's not right. Yeah, she had to be on something. If this is true, because honestly, I don't really believe her words at all. I think she is the man dressed in black with a black mask. Oh my God, you guys are going to love this music video on Friday. You're going to love it. I know it. Dylan. I mean, yeah, it freaked me. Yeah, it freaked me. Hold on. Did it just switch to a different interview? Don't do me like that. Yep. Okay. So it went to a different interview. That's it for the Gooch. I mean, yeah, it freaked me. And then we go into, I believe this is, yeah. So now this is the interview with Erin, the FBI agent that interviews children that have been through traumatic times, traumatic events. So that's what Erin does. She works with children and the psychology of children. And I don't know if this was like a purposeful move by the FBI or what, but I don't really think, I mean, obviously she's good at her job or she wouldn't have one, right? But I don't look at it and say, oh, snap, she did phenomenal. I don't look at this interview. There's a lot of times where she just says, which I understand. If a person's talking, you want to let them talk as much as they'll talk, right? Because every word matters. But still, I feel like she should have pulled more. It should have been more like an interrogation. Not that that's really Erin's job, but she should have asked some questions that were difficult. She didn't, which is a little frustrating. So it starts off saying something about guest cops were able to track that. I don't know. We were like just sitting on the couch. Kaylee had gone upstairs to take a nap. It was me, Bethany, Maddie, and Xana. Xana was like very, very drunk, and there was something like decent. We were like, okay, let's take a nap. And we set an alarm at 8 p.m. so we could all wake up and get ready to go out. So we took the nap, woke up at 8. I woke up realizing I still have to do my psych homework. There it is. Psych homework. And I remember all the times. It's on my phone and the cops have all the pictures and times of that. So I'm not going to say exact times because I don't remember at all. Erin, that's okay. Dylan, so we got up. I decided to continue my, turn my psychology homework that I turned in that day. And Maddie, Xana, Ethan, and Bethany went over to Sigma Chi. They had a large party. Kaylee was upstairs. She was getting ready to go to the club. Notice, Dylan did not mention that Kaylee had a friend over and they were getting ready together to go to the club, not Kaylee by herself. I'm wondering if that pissed off Dylan to the fact that that's why she didn't bring it up. She doesn't even want to speak about it. Interesting. She doesn't say at all that Kaylee was getting ready with another friend. Dylan says, as I turned in my stuff, I was getting ready. Probably took me like 10, 20 minutes because I had to finish a few things for it and turn it in. I was getting ready, which took me like another 10, 20 minutes. One of her AFI friends came over. Oh, there we go. Now she says it. One of her AFI friends came over, and I can't remember her name, but she's super sweet girl. I don't know how long she was there for because I didn't see them leave or go. So I knew Kaylee was in the house and her AFI friend. After I had gotten ready, I left the house. I kind of just figured Kaylee or AFI friend were there because I didn't see them leave. But then again, I couldn't be for sure. I left, and usually, so like when you go from my house to Sigma Chi, there's like these tiny little stairs, and one of the cops that was there, and last time he knew exactly what it was. These tiny stairs that go into the parking lot of the White's apartment. What the hell is she talking about? One of the cops that was there last time he knew exactly what it was. Wait, so is she saying one of the cops that came to the scene when 911 was called was also outside by the little stairs that night? She's talking about Blaker? Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Okay, so this reads weird. I'm not sure what she really means here. Is she saying then that Blaker was by these tiny stairs, or is she just saying this cop knew what stairs she was talking about in the first interview? Really weird. I don't think she even knows what she means. Okay, that Blaker knew what she was talking about last time she mentioned it in the interview. Okay, got it. That's okay. She should have taken an English class, not a psych class. She says, and I'm pretty sure it was like pretty much when I got to this big blue dumpster is when I saw Maddie. She was carrying like a little 6-pack of seltzers. And I was like, oh, like, what are you doing? She was like, oh, I'm going to go to the club with Kaylee instead. And I was like, oh, okay, well, have fun. I walked to Sigma Chi, went in there, the lodge. The main lodge party hadn't started yet. So we were in the apartments. It was, I believe, Ethan's twin brother, Hunter Chapin. She does know he's a triplet, right? God, she's an idiot. Forgive me for calling her an idiot. Can't help it. It just fell out of my face. Sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Please forgive me. That was rude. Root. It was the root. It was, I believe, Ethan's twin brother, Hunter Chapin. That was his apartment. And we were upstairs in one of the rooms. I was with Bethany, Ethan, and Xana, and a few other people like were around there coming in and out. I hung out with them for a little bit. I kept going in and out of the lodge party because just it wasn't like super great. It wasn't like super great because she was upset by that point because Kaylee wasn't coming out. Maddie and Kaylee were supposed to go to Sigma Chi, and that's probably why Dylan still went. But then she ran into Maddie, and Maddie said, Kaylee and I aren't going to Sigma Chi. We're not going to this party. And Dylan was like, oh, okay, well, have fun. And then suddenly when she gets to the party, she's going in and out because it just like wasn't super great. No, it wasn't super great because the people you wanted there or the person you wanted there and thought was going to be there didn't end up going. They had a change of plans. That's why. At one point, I think I don't remember exactly who I texted. Either one of like Claire or Jenna. They were at this girl's named Allie Benson. This is her house. Xana and Allie Benson knew each other really well, but Allie wasn't there. It was her friend Kennedy that was there, that lived there. Erin. Uh-huh. Dylan. I was texting like Jenna and Claire, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this lodge party. Like, I might come over to your guys' place or where they're at. And from my house, it's like just down the street, just a little bit. Like, it's like a 5-minute walk from my house. So I was at Sigma Chi ready to go. Bethany didn't want to leave yet. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go. And I went to this place with Gideon, Claire's little. They're like big little stuff for sorority and fraternity. So he's a really sweet guy. I walked with him all the way to Kennedy and Allie Benson's house. I don't remember exactly who was all there because it's just been a while since like I've actually thought about it. It couldn't have been that long. But I know it was like Lake, Claire, Jenna, Gideon, Hayden, a guy Lake had been talking to, Kennedy, obviously, Jenna's friend Ava. I think there was like 2 or 3 other guys. I don't know if I remember their names or not. So I went there for a little bit. Sorry, I have to go back just a little bit. Erin, that's okay. Dylan, obviously I had a few drinks when I was at the White's apartment. And then I had probably like 3 or 4 at Sigma Chi. And when I got to Kennedy or Allie Benson's house, I probably had like another 2 or 3 of those seltzer ones. I don't fully remember because it's all blurry. Simply says, I always thought that Dylan wasn't invited, so she didn't have a wristband. So she got Maddie's wristband after Maddie and Kaylee left, and then Dylan went back to the lodge party. Interesting. I mean, that's totally possible. Yes, she does. She wants to be the most popular, the most powerful, the one that, every time she speaks, everybody's just hanging, waiting for her next word to come out of her mouth because she's just that great. Yes, absolutely. Weird. I don't fully remember because it's all blurry. My friend Lake had a Borg, which is just like vodka and Mio mixed with water and stuff. And I had a few sips of that. I don't know how much I drank of that. When we were there, we played Rage Cage, which is the drinking game. And it's like you fill cups with like a little bit of seltzer. And I had a few of those, but not like a lot. But obviously, I was drunk. I don't know exactly how much I drank. I don't remember I think it was between either there at 12 before, I think it was before 1 a little bit, or maybe it was before 12. I can't remember exactly what time I left. Lake was very drunk and I was like saying, oh, she can come home with me. Like, we'll walk home. I told Jenna and Jenna's like, oh, I'm just going to stay here. Hayden, one of the guys that was there, is a Fiji. Fraternities have this thing where they have sobros. The freshmen are sobros. So Hayden called, and I trust Hayden. Like, he's a good friend. He called a sobro. I don't remember who they were. They were freshman Fijis, and they drove us home because it's like a 1 minute, 2-minute drive. Which I thought this wasn't true, but or I thought we weren't, like we didn't know which one was true and which one wasn't, because then I thought there was the whole story of Dylan walking home and running into somebody and them coming to her house, and like I thought she walked home. Now she got a ride from a sobro. Dylan. And yeah, I just saw this exactly. She remembers everything before the murders, but nothing during or after. Yep. And what's even crazier, I think, or just as crazy, is she, talks about the 2 a.m. hour. She remembers that, remembers everything, people, what we were doing, what was said, video taken, Kaylee's room, all this stuff. But then at 4, suddenly she doesn't know or remember anything because she was so drunk. Well, you would think you'd be drunker at 2 a.m. and then you get a nap, and then which I don't think she did anyways, but she says she got a nap. She ate some popcorn. You would be less drunk at 4 a.m., not more drunk. So obnoxious. Dylan, me and Lake go upstairs. I don't think anyone was home. I remember, so we went into the kitchen. I started making popcorn. I heard Murphy bark, so it was like, okay, I heard him, like, because whenever people would come, he'd start barking a little bit and be like, get all excited. So I went upstairs to Kaylee's room and got Murphy, took him outside, and then I brought him back there. And there was like a video of Lake playing with him, and that I guess she has that video, and that shows like the exact time that we were there. And he's like playing with her. And then I decided to take Murphy back upstairs into Kaylee's room just so he wouldn't bother us. Then we had popcorn, and me and Lake didn't drink anymore once we had gotten home. And we watched the show Vampire Diaries, if you've heard of that. I find it interesting that she's like, I went into Kaylee's room, I got Murphy, and then took him out. And then I put him back up there and probably shut the door because she didn't want him bothering them. Bothering them doing what? I thought you were just watching TV. Why can't Murphy hang out? Or why can't you toss a ball in the living room while you're watching TV? What were you guys doing to where you didn't want to be bothered by Murphy, who would probably just go to sleep since it was 2 in the freaking morning? What were y'all trying to do that Murphy couldn't just be there and hang out with you? Like, speaking of Murphy, where's my doggy? Dylan, yeah, that was like our favorite show. So we were on the couch, I would say like 10, 20 minutes maybe. Like in between that time, maybe a little bit less, actually, like 10 to 20, somewhere in there. Bethany had come home. She laid down with us and watched the show. She laid down with us? Huh? Laid down with you where? I don't know who's laying on that couch. Grody, Odie. But also, why are they laying on it like that? Like together? Does she mean like that? Or just like, I don't get it. Were they laying down like they were just sleepy and, like, or were they like cuddling laying down? That's what I want to know. And Bethany just laid down with us? Ew. I don't know when Lake went home because I had gone into bed. That's rude. So you invite a friend over, your friend's awake, and you just get up and go to bed? I doubt it. I don't know. Or was she, was she going to bed and trying to like get Lake to come in there with her? That like fake stretch. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to go to bed. You're welcome to come in there if you'd like. She says, I don't know how long of the episode we watched or what episode we watched. I would say I was in bed like around 2 to 10-ish. She couldn't have been. She texted Eric Gower at 2:11. She was up in Kaylee's room then. What an idiot. I think I was in bed around 2. No, you weren't at all. She says, I don't remember exactly because obviously I was still tipsy. You have a timestamp on your phone. Look at it. And not like aware of anything really. I think I'm not good with times right now because it's all jumbled up. Erin says, that's okay. Hello. Good to see you. Me too. For sure. Me too. I think Quinn was her beard. Her cover up. I don't like girls, women, females. No, I do. And I think she had a thing for Kaylee. And honestly, I thought that that's what she invited Lake over for. I don't know. So I tried to go to bed for a little bit and I heard Kaylee and Maddie come home. And I was like, oh, I want to go hang out with them. But you're too tired to hang out with Lake in the living room after you invited her there. But you're, excuse me, not too tired to get up out of bed to go see Kaylee when she comes home. Oh, somebody's smitten with somebody. I don't know if Bethany was upstairs already or if she had come up after I had gone upstairs. So my floor is like the second floor, and I had just gone up the stairs into their room. I went up there. They had gotten back from the bar. At first, I thought they got an Uber, but I guess now it's been proven that they didn't get an Uber. I don't know who they got a ride from. They had gone to Grub Truck and they had like this mac and cheese from Grub Truck. And I had the video of me, Kaylee, and Maddie sitting, and then you can hear Bethany like singing in the background. In back, sorry. And we're in Kaylee's room. I'm going to guess it's around like 2:30, 2:20-ish, somewhere in that range. I don't know how long I hung out with them for. I remember me, Maddie, and Kaylee and Bethany were like, oh, should we go back to the Grub Truck to get more food? We can get an Uber. One of the Uber drivers, Eric, we know pretty well. We had his number. We would text him all the time. Oh, can we get a ride? So I text him and he was like, yes. I don't remember exactly what I said, but he said that he could come get us. And then I was talking to Kaylee and I was like, I don't really want to go anymore because she had plans. Because Dilla the Killer had plans to eat her roommates. Yep. That's why she didn't want to go anymore, because she realized by the time I do this and clean up and get my act together and stage everything and pretend, it's going to be too late. I can't go get food now. Speculating. My opinion. So I texted him. He was like, yes. I don't remember exactly what I said, but he said that he could get us. And then I was talking to Kaylee and I was like, I don't really want to go anymore. Like, I'm not, and she was like, yeah, whatever. Like, she doesn't really want to go either. Well, why would she want to go? She has food from Grub Truck. I went in my bed. I don't know exactly what time that was. Yeah, I have no clue what time. I showed the texts of them when I texted Eric, but Eric, and that's when I went back to bed around. I woke up, so obviously I fell asleep for a little bit. Then I woke up around between the range of like 4:20, somewhere in there, maybe 4:10. We had this like flat blaster speaker that's Hunter's, Ethan's triplet, who he usually would bring it over to our house, like parties and stuff. I could hear it was Kaylee. I think she was singing, and I could hear like Murphy's paws, like just prancing around. And I'm pretty sure they were just like dancing and singing. So she wakes up at 4, which is a lie because she was never asleep because of her phone, but also saved a contact or whatever with the contact before 4. So whatever, Dylan. But then she says she hears that flat blaster speaker. And it's Kaylee at 4:20. Wouldn't you have to hook your phone up to the speaker to play music? So that's a lie, because Kaylee's phone was never used again after 2:54 or 2:53, whatever it was. 2:53, 2:54, Kaylee's phone went dark, never to be touched again. But wouldn't it? G-Bean says not if you automatically connect it, but it would still show that you're using an app to play music, right? Wild. Dylan, he usually would bring it over to our house to like parties and stuff. I could hear it was Kaylee. I think she was singing, and I could hear like Murphy's paws, like just prancing around. And I'm pretty sure they were just like dancing and singing. And I woke up and I remember looking at my phone, and it was like somewhere around 4, but obviously before 4:30. I don't remember how long I heard her playing music before, and then I heard her walk upstairs because I hear her shoes walk upstairs. And I could hear Murphy, like his paws going upstairs. And I feel like when she got to like the middle or middle top of the stairs, she said, "Someone's here," but it wasn't like a scream. It was like frantic, like, "Oh my gosh, like someone's here." And it was like talk. It was like talk in between yelling. Like I could hear it. Bethany didn't hear it. I don't know if anyone else heard it. And then I just heard like fast paced, like stomps going down the stairs. And then it just stopped. And I texted Kaylee, and the cops had that. They could see exactly the times and stuff, what I just text her. Like, I don't know exactly what I text her, but it's like, Kaylee, like, are you okay? Like, can you please answer? She didn't answer me. Right when I heard that, I like launched up and locked my door because I'm always freaked out about this kind of stuff. Again, now she's freaked out, not freaked out, scared, not scared. Thank you, Bianca. We've got another gifted. We have another family member, another membership. We appreciate you so much, Bianca. I hope you know that. So much. So much. Gut punch. Yes, so sweet. I would be spooked the F out if I heard screaming, big boots clanking, and open my door and I see a freaking man with a dang mask on holding something doing high knees. Like Pop says, give me a break. Absolutely. Absolutely. With a vacuum, like, who broke into clean? The heck? Dylan, she didn't answer me. I like right when I heard that, I like launched up and locked my door because I'm always freaked out about this kind of stuff. I don't get it. How can these words come out of her mouth and she actually believes herself? And then how is it that the FBI agents who are trained to hear lies and body language and words, just everything, that's their job to recognize when people are lying. How can she say this and actually believe herself when just 5 minutes ago she was saying, I wasn't scared ever. Ever. Like I don't know. I don't remember if I locked the door. I don't remember fully if I locked the door that night, but I don't think I did because I remember getting up and locking it. But then I could have unlocked it and locked it again, not realizing what I had done, locking it, because I always get freaked out and just wanted to like leave my door locked. Or you unlocked it on purpose and that's all you did because you wanted to make sure people could come in and kill your roommates. And so I have no idea if it was locked that day or not, but I just remember making sure it was locked. I did turn the light on in my room. This creeps, you guys. This part creeps me out so bad. So bad. Because at the beginning of this, Erin let her know. Just wanted to let you know, by the way, BT Dub, we've got your phone records and all your messages, all your pictures, all your texts, all your everything. So just wanted to let you know because I might have forgot to tell you that. We've got them. And then suddenly Dylan is admitting that she had her light on. And I'm sure it was on the entire night. Because she was busy. She was busy. Allegedly speculating. I did turn the light on in my room and I just was like standing. I remember like looking at the door and just looking at the handle. Like I'm so confused. Like this, like I'm just don't know what's going on. Why would she stare at the handle? It's not like her handle is one of those long handles, that like curves and you can see if it moves down. She has a turn. It turns. It's a silver circle ball. Turns. Like, why are you looking at that? I know I called Maddie, Xana, Ethan, and Bethany, and I called Kaylee a few times, I believe. No one was answering except for Bethany. I don't know if I texted her first or called her. I called her and she said something about a firework. And so I thought in my mind like, oh, fire. But I wasn't like worried about it because you're psychotic. That's why. Who calls you, says something about a fire. So now, oh wait, no, she hadn't seen the man yet. It was after Bethany called. So that's another lie she was caught in because she talks to Bethany and tells her about this man that she saw. But Bethany tells her about the firework. So when she sees the guy, she thinks, oh, firework. It must be a fireman. But wait a second. I thought you saw him before you called Bethany. Liar. It was just like nothing was making sense in my mind. Like I was half awake. I was still probably very drunk. Not. So I don't remember if it was before or after I called her or text all of them. I opened the door and I didn't go out of my door. I just opened it and I looked upstairs. My room's right next to the stairs. Like you have to go past my room to go upstairs. I remember looking up the stairs. I didn't see anything. Then I looked to the side towards the living room and I can see like half the living room and didn't see anything. Nothing was like weird or out of place. So I locked it again. Why are you locking it? if nothing's weird or out of place and nobody's there and you're not scared, why are you locking your door? I think I don't remember if I kept texting Bethany or if I kept calling people. I can't remember exactly. And then I opened the door again. Redacted, redacted, redacted. Come on. There's that much more and it's all freaking redacted? I thought they were supposed to unredact everything. What's the point? That's it. What the heck? Dylan doesn't seem to understand time zones. She doesn't. I don't think she understands time at all. Just time in general. Netflix drops on 20. What about Netflix? What's on Netflix? She uses it to her advantage, in my opinion. It's just, yeah, probably something like that. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let me remove this. Oh, there's a new one. I don't watch TV either. So I do not. I'll watch that though. For sure I'll watch that. I'll have to get Netflix for it though. Yeah. I don't know that she was physically involved, but she was probably their eyes on the inside of the house. I mean, yeah, she was involved in some way, some capacity. We just don't really know what it is. But there's a lot of things that make me think that she did something. And as we know, there is one knife that made just like 1 or 2 wounds on Maddie, 1 or 2 wounds on Kaylee, and 3 wounds on Xana. So it's possible that she did do something, but not the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's possible. Now, what I want to go over real quick, and I'm not going to show the papers for it. I'm just kind of going to talk about it and talk it through because it is in here and I want to cover everything. I want to talk about the amended supplemental expert disclosure because I want to talk about the things that they were going to say if there was going to be a trial. Because we talked about this earlier and there was a comment, words matter, and it's all in the words. And there are some words in many of the experts that were going to testify in this case. These specific experts in the amended supplemental expert disclosure are for the prosecution. And I want to call them out in a lot of the words that they choose. Because to a regular person who's not into crime and doesn't, pay attention to words and things like that, it might sound normal to them. It might sound like they have evidence, but not to us. Not to us. So, in the amended supplemental expert disclosure, it's basically the purpose is to give information to the defense, tell them which witnesses the state is going to use or call, what those witnesses are expected to testify on. And they give them a little summary of their opinions, not the whole report, just a little summary of what to expect from these specific witnesses in court for the prosecution. Thank you so much, love. We appreciate you. That's so sweet. so sweet. Yeah. It feels like she had to be involved in the facilitation of it all, for sure. Oh, yeah. So the prosecution was going to call or have as an expert witness Shane Cox, who is for Amazon, and he was going to talk about the click history and the purchase of this K-bar knife by Bryan Kohberger. There was a forensic accountant from the FBI, Lawrence Mowry, and Neil Uhrig or Uhrig. They're just the disclosures in this report. It is not the full report. So Shane Cox with Amazon. The state says that the Amazon records show, thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Does anyone know if the video really exists from the filmmakers that supposedly had a camera set up outside 1122 King Road that night? Or is it more of an urban legend now? I believe it's an urban legend. I do. I believe it was an urban legend or is an urban legend. I thought it could be possible at first that there was something set up, but I kind of feel like that's a little far-fetched now. And I feel like there is just other Ring cameras or doorbell cameras or cameras on cars or whatever that actually caught what was going on that night. They caught people exiting the front. They caught people exiting the back. They caught more than one perpetrator. But I think it's on like Ring Cam or something. I think it exists. I do. It's just very buried. And we'll probably never see it. So the state says the Amazon records will show that Bryan was searching for K-bar knives. Bryan bought a K-bar knife. Bryan bought a K-bar sharpener. He tracked the shipment. Then he later viewed K-bar knives again. And he later visited pages relating to the deletion of his Amazon activity. Those facts, in my opinion, are creating a narrative rather than simply just listing his purchases or showing the receipts. It's a story. It's the dramatic, So the prosecution was going to intentionally lay out the sequence. March 20th, Bryan Kohberger allegedly bought a gift card. He searched knives. He purchased a knife. He purchased a sharpener. He tracked the shipment. And then he deleted the activity or tried to delete the activity. Then, after the murders, he was viewing the knives again. It's designed, but the prosecution, they're storytellers, right? The better the story, the better the drama, the more you can get the jury to believe you. So it sounds really deliberate. These actions by Bryan Kohberger, the state was going to lay out that they were so deliberate and he is this murdering crazy man. But it still, in the end, doesn't prove where the murder weapon is. It doesn't prove, they never recovered a knife. They never even looked for one. The use of that knife, they don't have any idea because they never recovered one. So they don't know if that knife, the knife that he bought specifically, was ever used. The only thing that it really proves, if they have the receipt, is that the Amazon purchase happened. So on November 15th, Amazon's click activity, this is what the prosecution was going to say, that Amazon click activity shows that this customer navigated to a page related to the deletion of account activity. Notice the wording. It does not say he deleted the purchase history. The account wasn't deleted. The purchase wasn't deleted. The history was not deleted. The knife was not deleted. Him looking for those knives was not deleted. All he did, supposedly, and we don't even know if this is true, but supposedly, all he did was like look into maybe how to delete something, but he never did it. He never did it. He never deleted the account. He never deleted the purchase. He never deleted. But that wording that the prosecution wants you to hear, not you, wants the jury to hear, is that he, and they'll say it probably fast, or, you know, follow up with something really quick, something else. Customer navigated to the page related to deleting the activity. They're not saying he deleted it, just that he looked into it, or it could have been a wrong click for all we know. And this matters. This matters. It matters because they surely intend to make him look like he was trying to hide and conceal stuff when he wasn't. That's not what he was doing, because he didn't actually do those actions. They were kind of going to do the same thing with the ATM withdrawals beginning November 13th. The FBI accountant was planning to testify that one of Bryan's accounts sat inactive most of the time. But then on November 13th, he started getting cash out of ATMs. The prosecution wants the jury to think that there was a behavioral change after the murders, but this is not true. This is not true. But that's surely what they were going to testify to or get the jury to believe. But that's not true. They also don't have any evidence of it. They were just going to basically say that he had an account that he didn't use very much, and then suddenly he started withdrawing cash. It's just not true, though. They're also going to, it's behavioral changes they want the jury to think is happening, but it's all in their wording. It's all in their wording. It's also not proof of guilt at all. It's not. Right. Exactly. He kept using the same cards after the murders, before the murders, after the murders, same cards, same behavior, going to Target, going to Walmart, whatever, same behavior. They were also going to, if there was a trial, they were going to infer that him changing his license plates was nefarious, that he was trying to hide his vehicle then by changing the license plate. So this is obviously for the prosecution. And the report repeatedly calls November 13th the date of the homicides. So it sounds minor, but legally it isn't. Nearly every paragraph ties together ATM, shopping, banking, Amazon, the date of the homicides. It's just putting the words together. If you constantly put Bryan Kohberger used the ATM on the day of the homicides, Bryan Kohberger went shopping on the day of the homicides, Bryan Kohberger looked at deleting his Amazon account activity the day of the homicides, right? It's psychological. You're saying the words together, and soon enough, people in a jury will start to think Bryan Kohberger did that on the day of the homicides. Bryan Kohberger did the homicides, right? That's what it's meant for. But Lawrence Mowry says he found no connection between Bryan Kohberger and the victim's devices, which is enormous. Even bigger, Lawrence Mowry also says Bryan's own Amazon, Dropbox, OneDrive, Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, Yik Yak, Strava, his whole computer, his phone, all of his hard drives, vehicle data. Oh, vehicle data. What do you mean vehicle data? All of that contained zero reference to Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, Xana, Bethany, or Dylan. Not an iota. But what do they mean vehicle data? What data do they have of his vehicle? And if they have his vehicle data, wouldn't it show where he was at? Interesting. Because many people assumed there would eventually be evidence of stalking, searches, social media, photos, messages, whatever. The disclosure literally says they found nada. Nothing. What I found interesting was pages 4 through 14. They spend a lot of time explaining that the FBI forensic accountant will present summaries under Idaho Rule of Evidence 1006, which allows records to be condensed into charts for the jury as long as the records themselves are admissible in court. That tells me that the prosecution expects to present large volumes of financial and purchase data through the summary charts rather than walking the jury through every document, every record. They were going to condense it because you probably don't have records. That's why. What doesn't appear in any of this is a murder weapon, a statement that Bryan Kohberger's K-bar knife was ever recovered. There's no evidence tying that specific knife to that specific sheath. No blood or victim DNA on Bryan Kohberger, described on Bryan Kohberger's financial records or Amazon records. No digital communications with the victims or the roommates. No searches for the victims. No social media contacts. No evidence that their names were saved in his phone. Literally nothing. Nothing. So, what the prosecution was planning on doing with these people as well is showing exhibits, highlighting words, leaving stuff out, assuming stuff, and spending all of that time in court, using words to make it sound like Bryan Kohberger is connected when he's not. And then they don't have direct evidence of anything that they are trying to say here. They have no direct evidence of it. So that is what they were going to do, or that is what the amended supplemental expert disclosure was all about. So I just wanted to go over that quickly, summarize it basically. So let me show you. I want to show you Maggie Lou. This is Bronx's buddy of the day. She is a 10-year-old boxer. This was on her birthday. I love boxers. I'm so partial to boxers. My family has always had boxers. We love boxers. In my 20s, I had boxers, male and female, and they had their first litter. They had 11 puppies, all lived, all healthy, all huge. And then their second litter, they had 12, all lived, all healthy, all happy. So I love boxers. This is Maggie Lou, and this is Crime and Chaos's baby. It's Crime and Chaos. Oh, that's the baby. Oh, we love Maggie Lou. So cute. I love boxers' cheeks and how their jowls. Oh, I could just smush them all day. Look at her. She is so sweet. Aw. I love her. Bronx would love her. Oh my gosh. She is adorable. How precious. We love her. Thank you so much, Crime and Chaos, for sharing your baby with us so we could share the babies with everybody. So cute. I know it. I know it. I know exactly what that's like. Y'all, if you have never had a soulmate dog, you need to find one because it is the best feeling in the world. It is the best. She is the best. We love her. Thank you for sharing her with us. All right, guys, stay tuned for Friday. We're going to have a new outro for you. We're going to talk about stuff and things, and it's going to be great. And then don't forget to tune in on Saturday. We have a long day of lives on Saturday. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for the gifted. Thank you to the mods so much for being here with me and helping us. And you guys are just amazing. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for spending your evening with us. We love you. Do something nice for yourself. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your Maggie Lou's and your Bronxy boys, all of your fur babies. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah. 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 Bronx on the scene, nose to the ground, reads every scratch, every step, every sound. Dust on the boot, mud on the cuff, one wrong move and he calls you bluff. He found a lie in the turn of a face, found a fresh print in an empty place. Tail up high when the story won't blend, he don't bark loud, he just gets close. Damn, sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. BronxTails, 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 chasing truth through the rails. BronxTails, 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 corruption slips then fails. Sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. Hey, hey. Idaho nights cold, over the floor. 4 names heavy in the whole town, so Bronx in the weeds where the silence stayed, digging for proof in the tracks it made. He found the gap in the masked up tail, found the bent clue in the buried trail. Bone white truth in the folder stack, one clean set and the case swings back. Sniffing out facts, no room for slack. Truth in the crack, now we don't look back. BronxTails, 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 chasing truth through the rails. BronxTails, 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 corruption slips then fails. Sniffing out facts, Uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose. One paw print, one torn thread, one false alibi, falls dead. Bronx stays locked on, won't let go. If the truth has a scent, he already knows. BronxTails, chasing truth through the rails. BronxTails, corruption slips then fails, sniffing out facts, uncaging the truth. Corruption on a tight leash, and he's pulling it loose.